Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Happy Monday for those that are tuning in live. Thank you so much for joining us on the Boost. Great to be back with you again. We finished last week with this concept of actions lead to actions. This is a key principle that I learned. It's hard for me to put it into practice, to be honest, but I learned it years ago. I was studying in a yeshiva, and the rabbi spoke about a spiritual principle that made no sense to me. I'll say it in Hebrew and translate it. It's called Mitzvah goreret Mitzvah. A mitzvah, a good deed, leads to a good deed, which, if you think about it, makes no sense, right? The principle should be a good deed leads to reward. Right? If you do good by somebody, that should lead to a reward of some sort. Right? The adage, the spiritual principle of mitzvah goreret mitzvah. A good deed leads to a good deed is curious. Right? I remember learning it. I was much younger. I'm like, well, then what's the point of doing good deeds? Like, I remember like being in the class and the rabbi's giving this thing. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, a good deed leads to more good deeds? Like, so what do you just do good? All you're doing is good deeds all day? You don't get anything for it? I'm like, then what's the point of doing good deeds? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't as altruistic as my rabbi had hoped back then. But I don't know. You give charity? You do good things? All you get for it is the opportunity to give more charity? That's what you get? Giving charity leads to giving charity? Being nice leads to being nice? That makes sense? Isn't that like the core of good guys finish last stuff? How about a good deed leads to something that you get for it? And so what I learned back then, and what we're talking about now in the world of resolutions, and how a resolution really hits a fatal flaw. And that along the way of trying to change your mind and trying to do the resolution, what ends up happening is you start looking for what the impact is, and it is never as quick as you think. This is what we spoke about last week. We started to get into this concept. It's the dropout phase. It's that period of time after you get that initial bump of we're doing something good, the excitement, the variety. Once that's done, and now you're in the world of like actually trying to implement it into your mind. So your brain doesn't have the variety. It's not exciting. I was talking to someone recently, talking about their spouse. I'll try to keep this as vague as possible. And he was saying that when they had first gotten married, like he would like buy her something and she'd get so excited about it. And he was so excited about that. It was before every Shabbat. He'd come home, whatever, he'd find something, whatever it was. I don't remember if it was flowers. I don't remember. It was something. And then like one day she just stopped saying thank you. And like she shrugged. And later on in the conversation, she admitted, like, yeah, in the beginning it was interesting, and I was surprised, but like now I expect it, which I don't know if she should have said, but that's how your mind works. In the beginning, it's like, whoa, this is amazing. We're doing something to achieve our dreams, and then all of a sudden, it stops being amazing. It's like what you expected. So all that stuff goes away. So the action to impact is really where most people drop out. But where great people live is that they don't really do action to impact. They do action to action. What happens is that they've determined that the action that they're taking is going to bring them closer to the goals that they want. That's it. Once you make that determination, once you decide, now you can course correct, but you can't always course correct, right? Companies that pivot too much they don't know what they're doing. But once you decide this is an action that's worth taking, this action will eventually lead you to something, then the goal like disappears. You have to like drop it completely. You'll get there, but you don't know when, so stop worrying about it. And every time your brain goes, it's not working, think of it like the kid in the back going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You're like, stop, we're not there yet. There's a lot of time we have in the car. Just look out the window or do something, because we're not there yet. Your brain is going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like, you've been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we there yet? And at some point, you got to turn to your brain and be like, no, we're not there yet. The goals, the destinations. If you want to be, if you want to be successful at achieving your goals, you have to, in many ways, forget about them. You set it, and then you forget it for a while. And you can always check back to make sure you're on the right path. But you can't be thinking, is this impacting? It doesn't work. So what you are thinking about, and this is the shift in thinking that I believe great people naturally make, is you start to look at the reward of your action as better action. You start to see the things you do and the habits you're forming, and the goal becomes a greater ability to do that action. So if I want to be more generous, and I start giving charity because I was told that if you give charity, whatever you give, you get, and I want to become a philanthropist, and I want to be wealthy, and I want people to like me, and all the impact, and I want to make a difference, and I want people to change their lives, and all the good and bad, whatever the stuff comes along with that. And I give charity and train my hand to be a giver. Again, I got to do it with common sense. But what I'm looking for is every time I give, to be able to be better at giving. To ask myself, did I give right? Did I give enough? Can I have done that better? And what ends up happening is the goal starts to fade from what giving's going to give you, and starts to be how you become great at the action itself. I saw this years ago in a documentary on Tom Brady, who hired a quarterback coach over a summer. He had already won like 3 Super Bowls, because he had some technique that can help make the spiral a little tighter and move the ball like 1% better. And it took him a summer till he learned it. And when he got it, he was so excited. It was like watching a kid like at a candy store. And even on the documentary, the trainer looks at the camera and goes, I've never seen this from a professional athlete. He was like jumping up and down that he got it. And I was thinking to myself, like, what did he get? He didn't get a Super Bowl. What did he get? See, what he got was he knew that he can't predict Super Bowls. So he wanted to work on his throwing arm, and he knew that would have the impact, but the goal of working on your throwing arm is your throwing arm. The goal of throwing a football is being better at throwing a football. It's not what throwing a football gets you. I hope I'm being clear. The goal of being kind is being kind and being a giver. This happened recently to somebody. I was a big giver. And everyone's birthday, she's always given to. She's like giving. Figuring out what people like. Writing it down at their birthday. Showing up with presents and gifts. And recently, at this person's birthday, it wasn't reciprocated. And I was talking with her. And she said something so powerful. She said, it doesn't matter. I'm not giving to get. It's a little disappointing, but I'm not giving. I'm giving because that's who I am. That's what I like to do. I like to be a giver. Givers give. Yeah, it'd be nice if you got back. It'd be nice. Listen, if you're being treated like a rag, you got it, fine. But like, it'd be nice for someone to think of you the way you think of them. But if you want to work on your giving, you want to work on your giving because you want to be a giver. And being a giver, that goal of being better at being a giver is what you're looking for. Now, when that becomes your goal, when that becomes your focus, now your brain is in an entirely different space. Now your brain is thinking, wait, we got to get good at this, because getting good at this is what we're doing here. Now you don't need the outside world giving you feedback. Now you don't need the outside world telling you, you're doing a great job, keep it up. You don't need a scale or a person or a feedback or a like on the internet. You don't need that stuff in order to figure out that you're doing a good job, because you're not measuring your success based on the impact. You're measuring your success based on your ability to do the action. Now, you're using impact maybe as one of the key inputs, but you're not waiting for the world to respond to you, or else you're going to lose the motivation along the way. You shift your goals, right? And this is where it gets a little complicated, because you got to always have in mind the ultimate goal, why you got into this business in the first place. But the truth, those ultimate goals are really just directions. The real goal is self, refining self. And when you feel that you're not enough in an area, sometimes it's just the reminder that yourself, your soul wants to be more. It doesn't matter if you hit this goal or that goal. What matters is that you're growing and you're changing. All right, we'll talk about this. The real goal. Inner. All right, everybody. Think about this today, if you wouldn't mind. Give it some thought. What are the things that you are or want to be doing, and how would it be different if you just saw the reward for the action being getting better at the action? All right, have a great day. And with God's help, I cannot wait to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Living on a lifeline, the world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction, the winds of life blur your vision. All the devastation forever feels like you're on the run. It's time, no one else can set you free. You're locked inside, and only you have got the key.